I want to make one thing perfectly clear before I begin this week's podcast. I am very, very happy that Joseph Anoa'i is 100% healthy and he's back doing what he loves to do. Simple. But the truth of the matter is, everybody thinks this is going to last forever. Everybody's on the Roman hype train. Everybody's on the Roman returns to Monday Night Raw hype train. Everybody's excited. Everybody's excited for this new chapter of Roman Reigns' career. Let me tell you something, people. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing. WWE will find some way to mess this all up. And we're going to go right back to where we were before he relinquished the Universal Championship. Mark my words. Mark my words. We'll all be booing Roman Reigns before 2019. Because WWE can't help themselves. They're like a little kid in the candy store or the ice cream parlor. They want to try every fucking flavor. Roman Reigns is their number one seller. They ain't getting rid of him anytime soon. If you think that this guy is back and he's not going to be in the main event picture before you could fucking blink, you are not paying close enough attention. I am 100% happy that Joseph Anoa'i is back and 100% healthy. Roman Reigns was the big story this week of WWE television. Obviously, there is a ton of news in this particular podcast revolving around the man, but this week is everybody and their mother number one topic. Roman Reigns is back, but what does it really mean for us fans and for the WWE? There is this perception from everybody that Roman Reigns being on television is going to be the missing piece that WWE needs to stop this slump, this fucking slump that they're currently in. But the fact of the matter is, Roman Reigns was never a ratings draw in the first place. Nobody ever tuned into Raw to watch Roman Reigns wrestle or to see what Roman Reigns had to say on a normal Monday night. The entire 4 months that Roman Reigns spent away from WWE television, Raw's ratings sank to the worst they've been in 26 years. Let me tell you something, people. That's not because Roman Reigns was missing. That was because WWE doesn't have a fucking clue as to how to book a great wrestling show anymore outside of NXT. That falls on WWE for putting on some of the worst shows that the company has ever stamped their name and logo on. Fact. Fact. The way WWE would have used Reigns if he was on TV in those 4 months would have been forgettable and downright nauseating. You know it. I know it. It wouldn't have helped the show, and we would have hated him more so than ever before. Would have been rehashed. Ultimately, it would have made the shows a lot worse based off how they would have used him as their Universal Champion. If you really want to wrap your head around the entire situation, WWE knew that if they removed Roman Reigns from television, it would have not been a big blow to them in any way, shape, or form, and things would have operated the same exact way. People, I laugh. I laugh at everybody's perception that Roman Reigns is the missing piece to WWE getting back on the right track. If Roman was there and healthy all 4 of these months, the shows would have still gotten the ratings they would have gotten. There is absolutely nothing that anybody could say to make me feel any different. Roman Reigns was a complete non-factor in Monday Night Raw's sinking ratings and viewership. He's not a draw. He's not a ratings increase. The man himself is not going to get people off their couch to go to a venue. He's not the man that's going to make you pick up the remote control and want to watch Monday Night Raw every single week. You know and I know the way WWE booked Roman Reigns, and if they continued that as Universal Champion, it would have resulted in the same outcome no matter what. So, it was not a big blow to them in any way. There's no reason to believe WWE was worried about Roman Reigns going away on Monday Night Raw. And things would have operated the same exact way. Now, I know what all of you are thinking. They gave him 2 years in chasing Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, only to have him relinquish it and go away for 4 months? Yes. Yes. They didn't care. They knew. They knew what was coming. They knew what the feeling was in the WWE Universe. The Universal title was then and is now absolutely worthless to WWE television. No matter if Lesnar holds it, no matter if Rollins has it, no matter if Drew McIntyre ends up getting it this year, or Roman Reigns gets it back this year. It is absolutely worthless to WWE television. Nobody cared in his journey or quest to slay the beast because he simply was not believable. WWE tried to tell a story of righteousness with Roman Reigns. They tried to portray Reigns as this conquering hero in the land of the corrupt, with Brock Lesnar leading the corrupted environment, along with Vince McMahon being favored by the CEO. They tried to portray Roman Reigns with many different masks, and none of them seemed to fit him at all. The fans thought the same. He was not their hero. Roman Reigns was never anybody's hero. Ever. He was not their hero. He was not the people's choice. He was not the people's champion. We all knew that Brock Lesnar was a prick, someone who didn't care. We knew what Brock Lesnar was before WWE portrayed him the way that they did. And for the sake of Roman Reigns and this storyline that they tried to tell that Lesnar didn't give a shit and Roman Reigns was trying to save the locker room and bring righteousness to the WWE, nobody bought into that bullshit. Nobody. It was forced, it was manufactured, and Roman came off as completely ingenuine as anyone I have ever seen in the 33 years I've been watching this product. No one came off the way Roman Reigns did that made me physically ill, the way that they got behind this character. This lasted for WrestleMania. Into WrestleMania, where Roman Reigns took 6 or 7 F5s to be defeated. I don't remember how many. I was too busy fucking tweeting away how ridiculous it looked that Roman Reigns had to take 6 or 7 F5s to ultimately fall in defeat against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. One of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. Meanwhile, Strowman and Samoa Joe and everybody else that was in the ring with Brock Lesnar before Reigns only needed 1 F5. 1. He downed Strowman with 1 F5. He downed Samoa Joe with 1 F5. Both of whom are much larger and believable compared to Roman Reigns. You don't think the fans pick up on this stuff? You don't think the fans are realizing what is going on? Better yet, you don't think the fans remember? It's not that long ago, Vince. It's not that long ago, you fucking cretins on social media. The greatest Royal Rumble, remember that? Where Reigns failed again due to a cheap gimmick tactic in a steel cage, breaking. The cage stood in his way of beating Brock Lesnar, and they made a big deal about how Roman Reigns was robbed and how the referee made a bad decision on that given evening. SummerSlam, where he eventually beat Lesnar at the close of the show in one of the cheapest tactics Vince could have ever done in the whole Roman agenda. Vince trotted out Braun Strowman in the main event, who was, at the time, Mr. Money in the Bank. Strowman was trotted out there, teasing a cash-in, which distracted the mutants sitting at the Barclays Center, while Reigns was winning the Universal Championship, right underneath their nose. This tactic, folks, was used to deflect negativity off of Reigns because everyone wanted Strowman to cash in and be the new Universal Champion. They quickly went off the air without any celebration or long-winded, I finally did it. The village is saved. I am the hero. of this corrupted land. It is corrupted no longer. The longer it went on, people quickly realized what had just happened, and the WWE did not want that portrayed on television. You go back and watch SummerSlam. Soon as Reigns won the title, they were quick to cut those cameras off. Roman was now your Universal Champion. Ratings were still suffering. They weren't getting any better. People were still all over this guy, boos in every arena, nauseated by the look and sight of Roman Reigns. Nobody cared for Roman as the guy. He wasn't their champion. We all looked at him as a political champion, someone who management chose, and never as the champion that we, the people, wanted for our WWE. Seth Rollins and his epic run, which should have resulted in the true ending we all wanted and needed at SummerSlam, had already been killed. With Dean Ambrose back into the fold, WWE, decided to reform the Shield because of all you gullible fucks out there that thought, oh, who could boo the Shield? Who's gonna boo the Shield? They're one of the most beloved stables in all of WWE. They're great. Who's gonna boo the Shield? This is until WWE took one of the hottest acts in the company, in Braun Strowman, and turned him heel to feud with Roman Reigns, ultimately ruining Strowman, wasting money in the bank, and giving us matches that meant nothing more than filling TV time on Raw and pay-per-view, with Ziggler, McIntyre, and Strowman teaming up against the Shield. It was dead before it even got started. The Roman agenda was right in everyone's face, clear as day, and it swallowed everything up in its path. How much longer could this realistically go on for? Now, this was the fate of Monday Night Raw. And we're all sitting at home and we're wondering, is this really what we're going to have to digest on Monday Night Raw? Is this going to be the true fate as Monday Night Raw and its future awaits us? This is the Roman reign as Universal Champion. We all trembled in fear that this would be the main program on Raw for the entirety of 2018 as we turn the calendar to 2019. We still had 3 months to go before we got till the Royal Rumble. And this was what WWE was lobbying as its main program on Monday Night Raw. How much longer could you stand to stomach all of this garbage? So, we all trembled in fear that this would be the main program. Then one night, Roman addresses himself by his real name, Joseph Anoa'i, comes to Monday Night Raw, relinquishes the Universal title, and announces he once again is battling leukemia. This is the second fight for Roman or Joe with this disease. We don't have a Universal Champion, and the Roman Reigns agenda, the Roman Reigns experiment, was deemed an absolute failure. We all wished him the best and to get healthy, but it all seemed very strange. Shocking, I felt for the guy in that moment, but strange. We all felt for him. We all felt for Roman Reigns. What could anyone do in that situation? What do you do at home, watching this all unfold out of the blue on Monday Night Raw? Nothing but feel for the guy. We all felt for him. And I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw where people blasted me thinking that I said it was a hoax, or it was fake, or it was staged, or a work. People complaining that not everything in wrestling is a work. I never said it was a work. I just said the timing of everything was a little off. It was a little off. And if you do some research, none of it really makes sense. And if you do the research, everything that you would have researched would have popped up in this little thought bubble, and you would have put the dots together and figure out, well, it really doesn't make any sense. Something's a little off here. That's what I was thinking. I have every given right to question anything that this company does. Everything. I never outwardly said that Roman Reigns was faking cancer. Never. I felt for the guy. I even said on Monday Night Raw Review, I'm glad Joe is back. Because these people on television, every single week, we welcome them into our homes. I welcome these performers into my family. We all watch them. We all know of them. If they're hurt, if they're sick, if they're ill, we all feel. When someone passes away in this business and industry that we so love passionately, we cry as if one of our own family members died. We cry. So I would have felt the same way for Roman. Again, what does anybody do in that situation? What do you do at home in that situation? You feel, you get emotional, you cry. Now, fast forward 4 months. My brother is a chemist. My brother is one of the smartest human beings you could possibly ever meet. I have a family who are in the medical field as doctors and nurses. I know leukemia comes in different stages, none of which are good. I don't want anybody coming down with leukemia or cancer in general, but I know that leukemia comes in different stages, none of which are good, but some are much worse than others. No matter when it was caught, in my opinion, 4 months is very strange for someone to be right back to work as if absolutely nothing happened. Yes, I know people deal with it in different situations. People are much stronger than others. Some people it takes longer to get over this than others. He's a pro athlete. He's probably got the best doctors in the world. He's got all the best medicine in the world. I understand all that. They might have caught it very, 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 very early. I'm not saying he never had cancer. But I'm trying to open people's eyes as to what WWE is doing. And what I see from WWE's side of the fence is that it's very pathetic. Now, no matter when it was caught, 4 months is very strange for someone to be right back to work as if nothing happened. For someone who has had the disease already, which I believe Roman has had the disease once before. So for someone who supposedly had the disease once before already, to go through it again, the likelihood of beating it quicker than the first time, I'm not saying he never had it, but honestly, beating it quicker than the first time just doesn't sit right with me, and I'm not the only one that feels that way in the community. Now, if we speak outward against this, then we're labeled fucking psychopaths. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, I believe Roman did have whatever he stated that he had. I'm just not really too fond of WWE in this entire thing. Even in the small chance he did beat it quickly and caught it very early, chemotherapy would really fuck up his immune system, probably losing some hair, definitely some muscle mass, and his immune system would be too weak to do anything, especially sports or athletic related. I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not going to show you my PhD. This is common logic. This is common sense. It was said by not only people in my family, it was not only said by people in the community, but I'm telling you right now, it doesn't sit well with me. Why are some people in the community blind when it comes to this situation? It's a crime, it's a sin to question anything that this company does. Why do you automatically deem all of us crazy as if WWE would never fake anything? I'm not saying that they did, but I would not put it past them to do such a thing, or at least work around giving it that real life feel, but it isn't as serious as they're making it out to be. Why do people believe what you see on television as if it's gospel? You know, television is the worst form of brainwashing that we as a general public are immune to. Pepsi, Coke, Frosted Flakes, Burger King, McDonald's. Shit. It's all shit. Do you ever see television promoting anything healthy for you? This is the shit that they are brainwashing you with as cool. And as, oh, I need to have a Pepsi or a Coke. Meanwhile, that's the worst fucking thing you could put in your body. McDonald's, Burger King, it's all shit. Shit that will kill you. They promote it, like I said, as cool and the thing that we are all consuming. When have you ever seen anything from Whole Foods or anything real or organic promoted on television? Never. Why? because it's good for you and it's not going to kill you. Roman Reigns went away with absolutely nobody knowing anything, from roster to colleagues to the commentators. The commentators are given scripts about what is happening and what they need to say verbatim. Nobody knew anything but Vince McMahon and everyone in Vince McMahon's slimy circle. And everyone in that circle knew. Everybody. Why is that? Why did no one else know? Why did no one else know about anything? So when the announcement is made, the reaction of everyone is real. The reaction of everyone is genuine. What they don't know emits genuine reaction. If I had no idea that my dad was suffering from something and he told me that he had leukemia, I would curl up into a ball and cry right there on the spot as well, just like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose did when they came out to embrace Roman Reigns. Let's look at the activities in the 4 months he's been gone. Films a movie with The Rock, who he is related to. That doesn't take one day. That's not one day of activity. That is a long, arduous process. This is a taxing activity, no matter how small the role is. I'm sure he was in some physicality during this role as well. He does a Nickelodeon TV show. Again, not something that could be done in a day. I'm sure this took several days, weeks possibly, of filming, depending on the role that he had. Photographs at football games, in the gym, his trainer dropping the ball, saying he's getting ready for an in-ring return, only to backtrack in the same photo because of plot holes that he left behind in his original statement. Roman Reigns returns the same exact week where Vince McMahon has a backstage fucking blow-up. Vince melted down, saying that the current roster does not have any superstars and that there is no one on the roster that could be the Hulk Hogan or John Cena that he needs. He does not believe in anyone on the current roster. Reigns returns in the same week. Those words are uttered by Vince McMahon. News leaks this week about Roman Reigns requesting not to be featured in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel to defend the Universal Championship in a triple threat match against Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. Why? Why? He was featured at the Greatest Royal Rumble with no problem. Seen a big payday that I'm sure he was very much pleased with, I'm sure. He was happy with his compensation. Yes. Now, it's a problem. Now, granted, Cena, Daniel Bryan, and others didn't go and took a stance because of the vile events that took place during that time, and it could have been a similar situation, but it does sit rather odd seeing the timing of it, that he didn't want to go. Instead, he wanted to take care of other priorities, so the WWE took the title off of him and didn't see it as a big deal because they had no plans anyway for his title reign. And him being on or off television, like I said, wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. Vince McMahon has no star power. No star power for WrestleMania. WrestleMania right now is completely unfinished. We got 2 matches announced, one that was teased big time on Monday Night Raw. Yes, Batista is a big name, but they don't have a Rock. John Cena's role is undetermined. The Undertaker and his role at WrestleMania is undetermined. Shawn Michaels was rumored for WrestleMania. He's not wrestling this year. They don't have that major name that's going to get people to watch WrestleMania outside of what they got already. There's no star power for WrestleMania. WrestleMania has been in limbo for the entirety of the biggest season of their calendar year, but Reigns is back. Reigns is back. Reigns is back on TV. After 4 months, he looks even better than he did when he left. Smile on his face. All of the situation was kept away from everyone. WWE gets what they want. Their guy is back at the risk of having ratings tank. They get the public spotlight as far as raising awareness for cancer. Their prize Peace and Roman making the rounds, representing the company as their biggest fighter, as the biggest fighter in the game. And he is the biggest babyface on the roster right now. Something in which they dreamed of for 5 years. Something that was not attainable after all of the top tier talent that this business has to offer was thrown in his way, and he defeated every single one of them. Every one of those men could not get the job done, but this gets the job done. They dreamed about this for 5 years. What does it really mean, people? What does it really mean? It means that the more we see of this and are prone to it, it's going to have the opposite effect on people. Reigns will continue to be fed top guys in the WWE, new faces, new talent. Stifling the growth of this company for the sake of one man is what WWE will continue to do. The cheers you hear now will eventually turn to boos, because the more you give and give and give, there is only so much that people can honestly take with this guy for the sake of one man. It's going to go back to the same way that we remembered it before he went away. People can only take seeing the same guy over and over and over again in a Superman unbelievable-like fashion. The reunion of the Shield. Everybody's excited about the Shield. Everybody's like, oh, I'm happy to see the Shield. Were you people happy to see the Shield when they were embarrassing themselves earlier on? Not once, but twice. How many reunions of the Shield do we need? We don't need it. The Shield now and the reunion of the Shield is nothing more than a mockery and a pathetic attempt to feed into the feel-good moment that is Roman Reigns' return. It isn't a feel-good moment and does nothing for the quality of the television show. It's just WWE doing it because they have zero creativity, that you will sacrifice top talent for this moment in the likes of Elias, Drew McIntyre, and the fact that it failed twice before after the original breakup, and the WWE wants to correct their failure. What good is all of this? What good is all of this to us, the fans? Really? I want you guys to ask yourself that question. What good is all of this for us? WWE used this to ultimately get what they want. A Reigns that is universally accepted for all by sacrificing TV ratings and the quality of Raw. But how long do you realistically think this is going to last? Like I said, nothing lasts forever. I am not saying that the man never had cancer. Did you hear me say once in this entire opening that I don't believe Roman had cancer? The answer is no. I never said the man never had cancer. I do indeed believe he did have whatever he stated he had. But it wasn't as serious as WWE made it out to be. And what's sad is WWE exploited this to the ultimatum. WWE exploited this to the maximum content. To tug on the heartstrings of everyone watching, knowing you couldn't boo him in this situation. It arose. It was a situation that was presented to them in WWE. Yes, Roman came first and his health came first. But man, did they exploit this to the fucking 110%. Everything about this was not as serious as it was made out to be. And now WWE is using this to get what they want. You couldn't boo him or get what they want. You couldn't boo him in that situation. WWE even marketed a t-shirt to make money off the situation immediately after he went into the ring and left the ring. People were wearing the new t-shirt in the crowd. He was sporting the new t-shirt. They went right to a WWE shop commercial. Get the new t-shirt. Not even 5 minutes after the guy is back, you're selling new t-shirts for Roman Reigns' return. Couldn't wait a week? Couldn't wait 2 weeks to let the whole fucking thing sink in? Is that how pathetic you are? Yes, I understand it's a business, but the tactic of that just shows you that money is always first. That's not a company that's putting the performer first. Yeah, let's make money off him if anything else. It's ridiculous. They put a t-shirt out to make money off the situation immediately after he left the ring. If anything, my entire situation here, my gripe, is with WWE for going for the pathetic and extreme lengths that they did, because they refuse to listen to us as a fan base. The fans from day one have been ignored. Roman may be wanted now. Roman may be wanted now because he is the fighter. But once WWE slips back into their old habits, everything we complained about in the past will be what we complain about moving forward. The sad truth of Roman Reigns returning to WWE TV is everything that you've seen before he went away is going to come back even more so worse. WWE is going to jeopardize their entire roster. WWE is going to jeopardize all their new talent. WWE is going to jeopardize their TV shows just to fill the agenda once more because they can't wait to get back into the swing of things. Roman Reigns was the one thing that revolved more so around Monday Night Raw than anything, while everybody else was left neglected. If this is the current state of WWE that you so dream of or want in 2019, you're out of your fucking mind. As soon as WrestleMania is over with, I'm going to make a fucking prediction here. I would not be shocked if Roman Reigns wins the fucking Universal title at WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania is over, we're going to go right back to Roman Reigns being head and shoulders the most important thing in every fucking segment on Monday Night Raw and everything to do with WWE. The sad state of WWE with Roman Reigns returning is everything else around him is going to fucking suffer. That's the opening of Off the Script this weekend. I got much more Roman Reigns news. Everything about the announcement, what led to the announcement, who knew, Dean Ambrose, and the likelihood of Dean Ambrose re-signing now that Roman Reigns is back with the WWE. All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script. This is part number 1, episode 263. Don't go anywhere, man. I got a lot more coming up right after this. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Sorry. What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man? And this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. I have some pretty big news for everybody, man, watching the podcast today. And I waited specifically to unveil this news today on episode 263. I figured this was going to be a very high-traffic video on YouTube. Friday's episode usually is. And, you know, it's got Roman Reigns in the title and in the thumbnail. So I'm pretty sure I'll get some traffic more than usual on Friday's episode. But I have been meaning to do this, and I've been told to do this over the past several years. JD, why don't you create your own website? Why don't you get your own website made? You don't have to wait any longer, folks. jdfromny.com. Go and do it. You're going to see the Off the Script logo right there. You're going to see a nice big bar where you can enter your email and become a part of my mailing list. And I'm going to take full advantage of this, man. We're going to have some fun over there. We're going to have some Beer of the Week recommendations, Band of the Week, Song of the Week. You guys are going to be notified on all the biggest happenings of this very channel and what I do, where I'm traveling, what events I'm going to, meet and greets, all that, man. We're going to have a blast with it. So make sure you guys pause the video right now. It literally takes 10 seconds. Pause the video right now. Go to jdfromny.com. Enter your email right there, and it gets sent right to my server. Simple as that. We're going to have some fun, so thank you so very much for all your support on everything, man. This is episode 263. This is part number 1 for your Friday. Make sure you guys go and follow me on social media. Very, very important. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Social media is both Twitter and Instagram, by the way, goons. Both Twitter and Instagram. Please make sure you guys follow me where it is available. Patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. I got to shout out Quentin pledging $1. John Pena raising his pledge from $2 to $5. Tensai Tommy raising his pledge from $15 to $30, man. What a beast. Kirk Larkin pledging $5. Dylan pledging $5. Brett L pledging $5. Albert Cook pledging $7. Darius pledging $5. Monster Inks pledging $5. Alec Vega pledging $20, man. Those are my patrons of the week. Thank you guys so very much. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to go check out all the other content that I have on the channel right now, man, that includes video game content as well. Roman Reigns announces he is in remission. We go over that on Monday Night Raw. Almost 50,000 views on that. Thank you guys so very much. Kevin Owens replaces Kofi Kingston at Fastlane. And you know what? It's great. Do you want to know why it's great? Because this raises Kofi's stock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania even more than it did before. So I don't know why anybody's upset with Kevin Owens replacing Kofi at Fastlane. Kofi probably just got slotted into the WrestleMania main event with Daniel Bryan. Or whomever they want to put in there. It could be a triple threat. It could be a fatal four-way. Whatever the case may be, Kofi's chances of being the WWE Champion at WrestleMania are astronomical right now. And WWE, believe it or not, might have booked themselves into a creative corner. There's no way that WWE does not give Kofi the WWE title after all of this. Sasha Banks and Bayley return to NXT. Make sure you guys go and check out the NXT review. They were happier than ever to be back at Full Sail University. So, did you goons miss any of my recent videos? Yeah, and fun fact, my haters are the first to always watch and thumbs down. Thank you guys so very much for all of that. Get your new shirt, man. Get your new shirt. Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of JD's Elite. Link will be down in the description below. Make sure you guys go and get it, man. We are dangerously close to 200 sold. I believe we already have about 175, 180 sold. If we can start the month of March off the same way that we ended the month of February, that would be fantastic, man. JD's Elite on Bonfire.com. Link will be down in the description towards the very top. Make sure you guys go and get that today and become a part of my elites. Harry's. Harry's.com/script. If you guys take a look at me, right now, I need Harry's desperately. I've been lazy. I've been sick. Sleepless nights, chronic headaches all week. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I gotta use Harry's sooner rather than later, man. And I want you guys to be one of the 10 million people using Harry's right now. You guys can so do that with Harry's.com/script for your free trial shave set, man. Like I said, Harry's has 10 million plus using their product. Claim your free trial offer, Harry's.com/script. Harry's founders were tired of paying for razors that were overpriced, overdesigned, with these gimmicks, vibrating heads, flex balls, handles that look like spaceships. These weird tactics that the leading brands in the industry are using to raise prices for decades. They fixed all that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a fair price. Harry's actually bought a razor blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for 95 years. And they've received over 20,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google alone. Harry's comes also with a 100% quality guarantee. If you do not love your shave, let them know, and they will give you a full refund no matter what. In the free value, the $13 value, that is, what you're going to get is the following. A weighted razor handle. You're going to get a razor handle. One choice of a color is yours, man. Orange, evergreen, or the navy blue. You're going to get a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. Rich lathering shave gel, generous 2-ounce bottle. It soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic. And when you put it on your face, if your skin is as sensitive as mine, it's going to leave a nice tingling sensation. And you're going to get a travel blade cover as well. It comes in the Harry's typical color, the navy blue. And it looks great in your medicine cabinet. And if you guys are traveling on the road, if you're going doing business meetings and you need your shaver, it's going to be right there for you, man. Looking good, and it's going to be protected. Listeners of my show can redeem their trial set at Harry's.com/script. Make sure you guys go to Harry's.com/script to redeem your offer and let them know I sent you to help support the show, man. Thank you guys so very much for all of that. I got a lot of Roman Reigns news. We're going to hit it right now, man, right here on Off the Script. Let's start all this Roman Reigns news off, man, from the very, very beginning. Who knew of Roman Reigns coming to Monday Night Raw for his announcement this past week? Roman Reigns, as we all know, announced during Monday Night Raw that his leukemia is in remission and is 100% back in the WWE. He returned later that night to save Dean Ambrose alongside Seth Rollins and tease another reformation of the Shield, which interests absolutely nobody. And if it does, you're a fucking simpleton. I'm sorry. This is all happening very quickly, but Roman Reigns wanted it that way. Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp reports that Roman Reigns made the decision completely on his own to make his WWE return so quickly. Vince McMahon was also the first one to learn that Roman's leukemia is in remission. It was said that the only people who were aware of what Roman Reigns was going to say were Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Wood, and Michelle Wilson. Roman Reigns is back, and fans can't wait to see what WWE has in store for him. Oh my God. I'm jumping with excitement. He has an exciting match possibly planned for Fastlane. An exciting match, they say. Now I know which match I'm skipping on when Fastlane is on next Sunday. And that could very well put him in a good position back on the road to WrestleMania. So, of course, the usual suspects. Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Michelle Wilson. You know, these are all in Vince McMahon's, these people are all in Vince McMahon's circle. Just like I mentioned, nobody else knew. They like to keep everybody in the dark about literally everything. This is typical WWE protocol. But you would have noticed that it's also nice to know that Roman wanted to come back and Vince didn't force him back like the reports were going around earlier in the week or before Monday Night Raw. There were reports that Vince wanted to force Roman back. We didn't know how he felt. He wanted Roman at WrestleMania. He wanted Roman back on Raw. So I'm glad it was Roman Reigns' decision to come back to Monday Night Raw. It's a lot better than the other way. Dean Ambrose decided to not join Roman Reigns after his leukemia remission announcement on Monday Night Raw. Now, Fightful also, in the same report, reports that Dean Ambrose made the decision to not join Rollins and Reigns in that moment after Reigns announced his leukemia was in remission and he is returning to the WWE. Roman Reigns spoke from the heart during his promo where he addressed all the support he received in the 4 months he's been gone. It was said that Ambrose was very emotional during Roman Reigns' opening speech on Raw. Again, exactly what I stated. Nobody expected what Roman Reigns was going to say. Nobody knew that Roman Reigns was going to be there. And here we are. Dean Ambrose is giving a very, very real-life emotion backstage because he didn't anticipate it. It's exactly what I said in the opening. The WWE keeps this shit away. It's going to emit real emotion. And that's exactly what they did when Roman relinquished the title in October. That's why you've seen Ambrose and Rollins physically crying right on stage, right on camera. That was not faked. WWE blew it up and made it seem a lot worse than it was, and that's where the real emotion came from because it was hidden from everybody. So Dean Ambrose was very emotional backstage. The call was also made after Reigns' announcement that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would save Dean Ambrose after seeing him get beat down by Drew McIntyre. This was a very big tease for a Shield reunion, which has been reported all week and is slated to end in a match in some aspect at Fastlane. Spare me. Spare me. That's not really the best way to book Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in this entire situation. Why do I want Dean Ambrose going back to what he was when he first came back after injury? WWE had this great fucking thing planned for him, turning heel. On the night that Roman went away, he turned heel. He DDT'd Seth Rollins after winning the tag team championships. And Dean Ambrose could have very well went on to be one of the best heels on Monday Night Raw, especially for the entirety of 2018. WWE fucked that up. And I don't know what they're doing with Dean Ambrose now, but I would much rather see Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, if they want him at WrestleMania, instead of doing this fucking McIntyre and Strowman and Corbin and Elias and all this fucking garbage that nobody cares about, why don't you continue the story of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns? Now, this will make sense because the next story is going to tie into this. If you do Reigns and Ambrose at WrestleMania, you could play it off as Roman Reigns teaching Dean Ambrose a lesson in respect, because he did what he did in October, and the only natural way to go about this is for Roman Reigns to teach his brother some respect at WrestleMania. And I would absolutely love to see that. If you want the Shield reunion, you have Reigns beat the shit out of Dean Ambrose and beat the respect into him. And then if there is a reunion of some sorts, it could happen after Seth Rollins wins the Universal Championship. Now, what I don't want to have happen is Seth Rollins to be beat up so badly by Brock Lesnar that we get Roman Reigns coming to the rescue, and a la Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 9 with his match against Yokozuna. It was originally Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, the salt in the eyes, and Yokozuna drops the big leg. Yokozuna's the champion. Hulk Hogan comes down and he saves the day because of Mr. Fuji's wily tactics. Bret Hart, blinded by salt, is like, yeah, go, I can't see, just go, do what you gotta do. Hulk Hogan wins the WWF Championship at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas and takes Bret Hart's spotlight. I hope that does not happen at WrestleMania 35. That would be absolutely fucking atrocious. And you know WWE wants to capitalize on Roman Reigns, the fighter, the hero, right? The big man is back. The big dog is back. Can you see them doing that? I could. I hope not. I hope Rollins wins the fucking match, wins the title, gets what he deserves. I hope that they don't bypass Rollins because Roman Reigns is back. Rollins gets beat up by Lesnar after the match and Paul Heyman. Both Reigns and Ambrose come out after Reigns and Ambrose have a match earlier in the night. And boom, Shield reunion. Fist pump, there you go. And that happens in the middle of the card because that's not main event. Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte is going to be your main event. That's a nice little middle of the card act for WWE to experiment with. That's what I would do. I don't know about you guys, but Dean Ambrose decided not to show up. They didn't even look back at Dean Ambrose when they saved him. It's got to be done for a reason. That was clearly done for a reason. So maybe we see something going into Fastlane, and from Fastlane going on into WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. But all I know is, if Dean Ambrose is happy that Roman is back, maybe Roman could convince Dean Ambrose to stay and not go to All Elite Wrestling. This is what management hopes. WWE management is hoping Roman Reigns, being back in the WWE, Reigns can get Ambrose to sign a new WWE contract. Imagine being Dean Ambrose, who is a guy that I have read on, who is very to himself, very quiet. You know, he wants to do what he's got to do and go out there and perform. He's just he's a lone wolf. He's a very quiet guy. He likes to be by himself. He doesn't like all this mumbo-jumbo. He's a very simple man. He likes what he likes. Imagine being Dean Ambrose and finding out that your brother, a guy that you've grown up with in this business, in this whole run, now has leukemia. And nobody in the WWE notified you of this. If I'm Dean Ambrose, do you know how emotional I am hearing this news, knowing that my brother in arms is going away and I don't know anything that's going on? So, Dean Ambrose and his unhappiness with WWE, who knows how much of that stemmed from the Roman Reigns situation? Maybe Dean Ambrose right now and his mentality is a lot better off now that Roman is back and he wants to be around Roman. He wants to be with the WWE and is more apt to signing a new deal. I think that could very well end up being something that is in WWE's favor. Now, just a few weeks ago, Dean Ambrose was almost certainly on his way out of the WWE, and the talk of him jumping to All Elite Wrestling seemed very likely. It is still possible that he could leave when his deal is expired in April, but WWE management is hoping Reigns can help change his mind. During a recent autograph signing, Roman Reigns was asked to give his thoughts on Ambrose leaving the WWE this year. Reigns responded simply by saying, "We're going to work on that," end quote. The impression given is that Reigns would work on getting Ambrose to stay. It is noteworthy that Ambrose is not being completely buried. It certainly looks like they are building towards a Shield reunion, possibly for the Fastlane pay-per-view. Again, I stress, who the fuck cares? The real reason why Ambrose told the company about leaving is that he was not happy with creative, and everyone was told that he's not happy about having to incorporate Reigns' leukemia into his heel promos. He didn't like all that hokey bullshit, is what Dave Meltzer exactly stated. And I don't blame him. The fact that he gave this emotion backstage when Reigns was out there, clearly you know how much he means, or how much Reigns means to him, and vice versa. All those guys, Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose, all mean a lot to one another. They are legitimately best friends. WWE has undone some of those things by turning Ambrose face again, and wrestlers have been told to hang tight because they are working on fixing some of the glaring problems with creative, a la Bruce Pritchard. As noted over the weekend, Bruce Pritchard was brought back to the creative team to shake things up, so perhaps these changes will be enough to get Ambrose to stay. One wrestler was quoted saying on Raw, "Ambrose has been the happiest he's been in a long time because Reigns was back in the locker room." I don't want to jump to any conclusions because we don't know where his mindset is at. And we all know that it's been reported that Dean Ambrose could give two fucks about money. He just wants to be happy, and he wants to be creatively happy. If WWE can fix that and the fact that Roman Reigns is back on television, we may be looking at Dean Ambrose staying with the WWE for the long haul, people. So this is a very, very good thing. That Reigns is back, that means that Dean Ambrose, his chances of staying with the WWE have significantly increased. So I wouldn't be too quick on having Ambrose put on an AEW jersey just yet. The Roman Reigns segment changed this week during Raw. Roman Reigns made his return to Raw, which obviously, this was all great news. His leukemia is in remission. This was well received by everybody in the WWE. That wouldn't be the last time the Atlanta crowd got to see Roman Reigns on Monday night. He also participated in a run-in alongside Seth Rollins to help out Dean Ambrose. It was reported that Ambrose decided not to join Seth Rollins on stage hugging Roman after his announcement. He was reportedly very emotional. Therefore, Vince McMahon decided to make a change during the show. The decision that was made for Roman Reigns after the announcement was to do a run-in spot and get physical on his first night back, which is rather strange. Just like how I detailed in the beginning of this podcast. You know, it wasn't to happen on Monday, but Vince was quick to put him in there and get physical. He Superman punched and he speared to his heart's content. This is when the Shield's reunion was teased as well. There were no plans to have Roman Reigns get physical on Raw this week, but it was written into the show as the show was happening, all because of Dean Ambrose. Roman Reigns reportedly spent time talking to Bruce Pritchard after Raw was over. WWE is experiencing some big changes both on the screen and behind the scenes. They recently rehired Bruce Pritchard over a decade away from being away from the company. And he is in a top creative role right now where he directly answers only to good old Vince McMahon. Monday Night Raw saw the return of Roman Reigns, and Wrestling Inc. is reporting that after Raw was over, Bruce Pritchard and Roman Reigns spent a fair amount of time talking in a one-on-one situation in the hallway. It was also noted that Pritchard clearly has a lot of influence right now in WWE, and he certainly had a lot of influence on Raw on Monday. It looks like Bruce Pritchard jumped right back into his old job as head of creative with both feet. Hopefully he was explaining future storylines for Roman Reigns, but you never know what he could have been talking about on the road to WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe Bruce Pritchard is going over how Roman Reigns is going to once again become the new Universal Champion on the road to WrestleMania. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I hope that there is some good creative in store for Roman Reigns. Because this leukemia announcement, him being in remission, great. I would have not had anything to do with him on the road to WrestleMania. In fact, I would have saved him for a bigger storyline, something a little bit more important after WrestleMania was over. On the road to WrestleMania is a no-go for me. the Raw after Mania is where I would have debuted him or had him return into an active role in the WWE. But you know WWE's got to get greedy. WWE's got to put him at Fastlane. They got to get him in the ring at WrestleMania. Which, again, it all sounds very strange. It all sounds too soon for someone with the condition that he had that WWE completely blew out of proportion. Now, I hope that Bruce Pritchard takes WWE into a different direction, one that is actually watchable. And the fact that he is talking to Roman Reigns, I hope that there is some good plans in place for Roman Reigns and we don't get the same type of fucking character we got with Roman Reigns before he went away. I hope this is on the up and up. I hope this is for the better of the show. I hope this is all positive. I'm going to give Bruce Pritchard some time. I don't know how well the shows are going to be with Bruce Pritchard in charge, because ultimately Vince McMahon oversees all. He may be more prone to listening to a Bruce Pritchard, but he honestly has the final say on everything. Now, I don't want to deem this move a failure, but Bruce Pritchard coming on into the WWE, for the majority of everybody's opinion, I think it's a good move. I think there's more positives than there are negative. And I would rather Bruce Pritchard be in charge of everybody. Maybe Vince McMahon is starting to delegate. Maybe he realizes that there is a change on this show that is desperately needed. Maybe Bruce is going to oversee the creative team. Maybe he's going to take the best ideas, run them by Vince, but it's ultimately up to Vince. It's going to be Vince's decision. If Vince doesn't like anything that these guys come up with, he's only going to go and use what he's been thinking of anyway. And that's going to happen 99% of the time. So how is that really change in WWE? It's changing faces, but the thing that really needs to be changed is Vince McMahon stepping away from his current position, or at least delegating a little bit more and giving more power to everybody around him, so much so where it's not majority Vince 99.9% of the time and everybody else barely has a say. And maybe, I mentioned this, you know, obviously I still think to this day that Vince McMahon did this as a sly move to take Bruce away from Conrad because Conrad's involvement with AEW. But I honestly do think that Vince may be tired as well. I would hope this is the case. Vince is tired of all these fucking Hollywood writers that come in that don't know their fucking elbows from their ass. These fucking Hollywood writers who don't know jack shit about any of the wrestlers in WWE or wrestling in general. Maybe WWE realized that, or Vince realized, you know, we can't be listening to these guys. You know, they don't know anything. Vince is more prone to listening to Bruce than he is the fucking 24-year-old Hollywood writer who's only there to fucking look at Alexa Bliss's ass when she walks away. I hope Bruce has a lot of positive influence over the change of this show, because it's desperately needed. After Roman Reigns was done with Raw, he was on Good Morning America. He said he's ready to get back to work. Now, Good Morning America, on Tuesday morning, Reigns was a guest. There was a lot of hype still surrounding his appearance on Good Morning America. However, that took place earlier in the day. Roman has been known for being one of the strongest WWE superstars currently on the roster, and we mean that both in a physical and mental sense. The guy just doesn't know when to quit or when he's beat. That's the kind of quality you need in this type of business. Nobody really knows what direction he's going to go in between now and Mania and then beyond, but it doesn't really matter to some. His journey back to this point is what people are going to be talking about for the duration. Good Morning America is one of the more popular morning shows in the United States, and Roman Reigns was on there to share his story very openly in order to help others who may be suffering from similar illness. Now, Roman himself stated it's time to get back to work. That was pretty much all it is. WWE and Roman Reigns is going to be at the forefront for bringing awareness to cancer and cancer research. You know, he opened up about the outpouring of support that he got in the time away, and now he's 100% back into the WWE, and it's time to get back to work. That was pretty much it. It was simple as simple could be. You guys can actually find that on YouTube if you just type in Roman Reigns Good Morning America in the search bar. Now, moving on to more of Roman getting back to work. Roman Reigns' possible match at Fastlane. Roman Reigns is teasing a Shield reunion. The Shield has been reportedly or at least is in the process of being set to once again show up at Fastlane in one way or another. They could have some help because Elias they could use some help, rather, because Elias joined this attack and have joined forces with Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley. So WWE right now is finding ways to fit the Shield into Fastlane. It was noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that it appears Braun Strowman could be inserted into this match as well. Therefore, it could be the Shield and Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Elias. This would create an 8-man tag match. And if anybody cares about that, man, holy shit, you are as simple could be. I do not give a fuck about anyone in that match. Nor should we care about anybody in that match. It's pathetic. It's sad that WWE is using the Shield to get Roman back into the swing of things. This is a rush job. It doesn't need to be. Plus, the long-term effect of this happening. Roman's going to be back. You think he's going to lose anything at this time being back? So, I just want to think of the Braun Strowman situation. Strowman was a babyface. He won Money in the Bank. They turned him heel when Roman won the Universal Championship. He was heel. Then he's back to being face when Roman's gone. Now they're buddy-buddy again. At one point, they hated each other. They wanted to kill each other in Hell in a Cell. Now he's back to being buddy-buddy with Roman Reigns. On and off, like a fucking light switch. Like a fucking light switch. It's ridiculous. It's like this fucking mic. Now you can hear me. Now you can hear me. It's ridiculous. You know how stupid that makes Braun Strowman look? A gullible fucking giant. Then you got Bobby Lashley, dead. Don't know why they gave him the Intercontinental Championship. The guy is fucking dead. Elias, another one, dead. Nothing but a novelty act. Comes out, plays guitar, gets interrupted by everybody. Drew McIntyre, he was on Monday Night Raw proclaiming that he killed the Shield. Single-handedly killed the Shield. Well, you didn't do a good enough job there, Mr. McIntyre, because now you got them back. What are you going to do now? Oh, that's right. We'll just feed Drew McIntyre to the Shield and make him look like a fucking blithering idiot in the process. You killed the Shield? No, you didn't. They're going to be burying you 6 feet under. And there was talk about making this guy the head of Monday Night Raw, the new Universal Champion, right? This guy couldn't be farther away from the Universal Championship. Drew McIntyre. It's a fucking ridiculous notion. Ambrose. I don't know where Ambrose lies with the Shield. Rollins is reportedly still hurt. Is Roman going to carry this match by himself? It doesn't make any sense. This is a storyline that has flip-flopped people back and forth. This is a storyline where it was once Dolph Ziggler, now he's replaced with somebody else. Now you're adding Elias in there. This has been the ongoing thing. This was the thing before Roman Reigns went away. And in WWE's brilliant mind, they figured, well, everybody enjoyed it then. Let's pick up with it right here on the road to WrestleMania. Who enjoys this? Who is going to watch Monday Night Raw to see Roman Reigns conquer Bobby Lashley and Elias? Are you fucking kidding me? That is some of the worst fucking television you could possibly ever produce on Monday Night Raw. It sucked then. It's even worse now. This is why I would have held him off until after WrestleMania. Is it really needed? Are you going to pick up the remote to watch Roman Reigns battle Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin? Come on. This is a fucking joke. Yeah, you may be happy to see him excel, but this, as far as filling up television, is absolutely the bottom of the barrel. I can't stand it. So that's a possible match at Fastlane. We don't know what the fuck he's got planned for WrestleMania. Rollins needs to take it easy. Reportedly, like I said, he's hurt. His back is still said to be healing. Doesn't need surgery, but you don't need him fucking doing Falcon arrows off the top rope. Injuring his back right before his match with Brock Lesnar. Yeah, injure his back. Put him in a situation where WWE can get this guy hurt or give him an attempt to get more hurt so that they can take him out of the Universal Championship match and have some fucking bullshit where Roman Reigns ends up being the Universal Champion at WrestleMania. I would not put it past them at all. So we'll see how real this Rollins injury is or how bad it really is at Fastlane. Can't jeopardize that match with Brock Lesnar. You can't do it. But WWE, if they want to jeopardize it, they'll put him in a wrestling capacity at Fastlane. Therefore, if WWE books an 8-man tag, it could be the best way. If they want to really do it, it could be the best way to protect both Rollins and Reigns, by including Ambrose and then Strowman. Those two guys could take the load of the work going into the WrestleMania pay-per-view. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever. Roman Reigns refused. I mentioned this in the beginning of the podcast. Roman Reigns refused attending Crown Jewel before his leukemia diagnosis. Now, it could have been the same reason why John Cena didn't want to do it. It could have been the same reason why Daniel Bryan didn't want to do it, and amongst others, all those other people that didn't want to do it, right? Randy Orton obviously didn't give a shit. He was there. Rey Mysterio didn't give a shit. They wanted that big payday. Lesnar got a huge payday. Strowman got a huge payday, I'm sure. Roman Reigns was at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He was vying for the Universal Championship. He didn't mind being in Saudi Arabia then. Now they're back with Crown Jewel, and Roman Reigns has an issue. Like I said, it could be the same reason why John Cena and Daniel Bryan didn't want to do it. But he had to relinquish the Universal Championship just days prior. Now, again, I am in every given right of mine to question. It's a little bizarre. The timing of it is a little bizarre. Roman Reigns don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Oh, let's relinquish the Universal title. I mean, any fucking idiot could come up with that logic. It's strange. Roman said he don't want to go to Crown Jewel. As soon as it was announced, he don't want to go to Crown Jewel. So what are you going to do? He's your champion. You got this big match with Brock Lesnar coming up. And Braun Strowman. You can't have that match be a Universal title match without a Universal champion. So they had to relinquish the title. They had to put it vacant. And have Strowman and Lesnar battle out for the title at Crown Jewel. Because Roman didn't want to be there. Doesn't that sound strange to you? Doesn't the timing of it just sound strange? I'm not saying anything negative there. The timing of it sounds fucking off. Fightful reported this. That before he had to vacate the Universal title, Roman Reigns actually told Vince and WWE officials that he did not want to go back to Saudi Arabia. Roman isn't the only superstar who told WWE that they didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia either. John Cena and Daniel Bryan also told WWE they didn't want to go, which is what happened because neither of them worked the show. Roman Reigns did participate in the Greatest Royal Rumble previously in Saudi Arabia, but he did not want to go back. No reason was given. None. It looked like he was slated to make a return to Saudi Arabia, but obviously didn't want to due to his leukemia. That's what's being reported. Again, I mean, whatever. He might have had the leukemia and he figured that he didn't want to travel. He had to go home and get better. But the timing of it, nothing, now that it's coming out, it's just the timing of that is just that little wrinkle, that little fucking dash of salt and pepper on top of him going away for leukemia was the sole reason that he gave up the Universal Championship. Now that this was reported, just conveniently out of nowhere, come on, man, doesn't that sound, that sounds bizarre. That sounds very bizarre. And if Roman don't want to go back to Saudi Arabia in May or in November when they got to go back, this is going to be a recurring 8-year fucking thing. They got 8 more years on this fucking contract. So he's not going to want to go back to Saudi Arabia ever again? What's the point of putting the title on him when the king or the prince is going to want the title be there or to be there? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I throw my hands up in the air. I don't know. It is what it is. You make your own assumptions. You make your own assumptions. You can make your own assumptions as well about Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. I could tell you, man, this is a good assumption. Because if you sign up with audibletrial.com/offthescript, you guys are going to get 30 days free of their service, and that includes 1 free audiobook of your choice. No bullshit. No bullshit. All you got to do is go through the sign-up process. Pick up your phone, your iPhone or Android devices, your tablet, whatever. Download the Audible app. It's absolutely free. Go through the sign-up process, and you are on your way to getting Audible 30 days free. Here's the best part about it. You can sign up, browse the service for 30 days. They're going to give you 1 free audiobook of your choice, and if you don't like the service, you guys can cancel at any time in that 30 days. You can cancel on day 1. You can cancel on day 29. It does not matter. And if you do that, you still get to keep your audiobook for free. A lot of people are listening to audiobooks, man. A lot of people listen to audiobooks, podcasts, This is the way of the world now. It's a great time killer when you're at work or at lunch or on the train or on the bus going home and back to work, whatever. So this is the way, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Over 200,000 choices to choose from. And if you guys want your free audiobook, use our link. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so very much for all of your support on my sponsors, man. I really, really appreciate it. Roman Reigns was not the only one on Monday Night Raw that was making big waves. Big Dave Batista is making waves on Monday Night Raw as well. WWE went through great lengths to keep Batista's Raw return a secret. WWE was a loaded show, obviously with Reigns and Batista and all of Ric Flair's friends for the big 70th birthday bash of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. It was reported that Batista was in the building for Raw, but they were keeping him in the back, away from everyone. It looks like the secret got out, though. There were reports that circulated after Raw was over that the only people who knew about the segment were Vince McMahon, the producers, and obviously the people involved. This makes us wonder how the word got out on Batista's return. I don't know. There might be a sly fox in and around WWE who's leaking some nice little nuggets of information on social media. We don't know. Gotta be careful. You don't want to lose your job over fucking something so stupid. Batista's WWE return very likely means that Triple H's torn pec will be ready to go by April for WrestleMania. It looks like Batista is going to get his program with Triple H after all, which is something he has spoken about wanting whenever the subject of a WWE return was brought up in the past couple of years. This was great. Him being there was great. I'm always happy to see Batista. I'm more of a fan of Batista now than I was back in the day. I think he's great. I really missed him, and I think, he did not get the proper send-off that was expected in 2014. He was a babyface. He was in at the wrong place, at the wrong time, and nobody, I don't give a fuck if you're Jesus Christ himself, you're not going to be put on television, and you're not going to sway anybody's opinion away from Daniel Bryan in that moment. You're not. WWE only harmed themselves even more when Batista won the Royal Rumble and everybody was waiting for number 30 and Rey Mysterio came out at number 30. They wanted Daniel Bryan. That was the end of it. That was WWE pretty much burying themselves 6 feet under. Batista was fucked ever since that buzzer went off at number 30. That was it. So he was brought in as a babyface. The fans knew, because they're not fucking stupid, that WWE was forcing this guy down everybody's throat. Daniel Bryan was in a great match with Bray Wyatt to open the show. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the Royal Rumble. When the people didn't get Daniel Bryan, their hatred came down on Batista. They might not have meant it for Batista, but he was the only one in that match that could have taken the brunt of all of that hatred. And WWE put Batista in a situation in which they fucked up. Batista had to go heel after that. He was pretty much forced to be a heel. They wanted him to be a babyface. Vince McMahon's original plan for WrestleMania was Batista versus Randy Orton. Batista as a babyface against a heel Randy Orton for the WWE title. How the fuck does that interest anybody? That would have been terrible. So Daniel Bryan was put in the main event. They found some way to correct the mistake of the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan realistically should have won the Royal Rumble. WWE did fix it with the whole yes movement on Monday Night Raw and him coaxing Triple H into a match at WrestleMania. If he beat Triple H, then he gets added to the main event of WrestleMania. It was great. It ended up being great. Not because WWE wanted it that way, because they had to do it that way. The fans wanted it, and there was nothing that you were going to tell those people in that moment. Nothing. So Batista, he put Daniel Bryan over. He did the job. Fantastic. They made him look as great as ever. He's even said this. We put that kid over the best that we could possibly ever put him over. Then Evolution was formed, and Randy Orton and Batista had this Evolution thing going on. Triple H came back and started the thing with the Shield, right? That was great. I really enjoyed that. But Batista was done after that. And I don't know what caused Batista to leave the WWE in such a short span, but I am sitting here without any hesitation saying and thinking that it was creative. Batista was fucked with creative. And he wanted something. WWE didn't give it to him. And now, here they were, with Batista unhappy. He didn't like the way things went. and he was promised things that they couldn't deliver on because they fucked up creatively, and he walked away. And he's been out. He's been gone. And now in 2019, during WrestleMania season of 2019, he is back. Batista is back, and he's a heel like he should be. And the best thing about all of this with Batista on Monday Night Raw, in the words that he uttered, take a role in this entire storyline as real life. They're playing off real life in this storyline, and that, no matter what the match ends up looking like, the build is going to be the best thing about this match. Absolutely no question. The build, the mic time between Triple H and Batista, the showdowns in the ring, the anticipation leading up to the match, that's what's going to sell. The match could be fucking shit, for all I care. To see heel Batista in the ring talking to Triple H just based on all the real-life situation that happened in the time he's been gone, this is going to be great, people. Batista insisted on returning as a heel because he knew that the last time they tried to not listen to him, the last time they didn't listen to him, he got all fucked up. So he's not having the same mistakes happen again. Dave Meltzer discussed this on Wrestling Observer Live, where he said Batista wanted to be a heel due to how his last program in WWE turned out. He says, and I quote, "So Hunter is the babyface in this feud." Unbelievable. Okay, I know because of what happened last time that Dave probably insisted on being heel, but I mean Hunter is the one that everybody wants to be the heel in this thing, but yeah, end quote. Now, the reason why this is happening and the reason why this is going to be so great is because Batista has been very vocal, no matter if it's a podcast, no matter if it's an interview. He wants to come back to the WWE. He wants Triple H in his last match. He wants to retire. He wants to come back and do the whole year worth of shows, house shows, Raw. He wants to do the whole full thing up until his retirement. He wants to be back. He loves the business. He owes the WWE everything for getting him started. He wants to give one more year to them and call it quits. But he's been very vocal about Triple H not returning his calls. There was, I believe, a rumor going around. I think Batista actually said that the plan was for WWE to use Batista in the tag team match last year with Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Now, it was slated to originally be The Rock. That's what they ultimately wanted. Kurt Angle was a number 3. Kurt Angle was a third option. Batista was a number 2 option. They pitched that idea to him. He's like, all right, let's do it. They never got back to him. And he mentioned this vividly. Candidly, he mentioned this on every podcast that he went on, every interview that he did. They never returned my calls. They never said anything to me. They ignored me. Everything that I said, it fell on deaf ears. So they took all of that on Monday with him dragging the cameraman to Ric Flair's locker room, and then him having the cameraman film Batista drag Ric Flair out into the fucking hallway. He takes his glasses off. He's like, "Hunter, do you hear me now?" This is great. They're taking all that frustration that Batista realistically had in real life with them ignoring him, and they're applying it to this storyline. Absolutely fantastic. You take a dose of real life and apply it to what you see on television, it makes everything that much more better. Batista hasn't had a match since he left the WWE shortly after WrestleMania 30. That was the whole Shield versus Evolution thing. He was in a program that promised the WWE Championship, but Daniel Bryan and the S Movement was just way too powerful. As WWE continues on the road to WrestleMania, it will be very interesting to see how Triple H and Batista's feud will continue. This might mean more appearances for Batista, but he was also involved in a few projects that are taking up his time as well. Either way, when Batista shows up, you can probably expect for him to be looking for the real heat after what we've seen on Monday Night Raw. I can't wait, man. Right role, right character, and you're taking what happened in real life between Triple H and Batista and WWE management, and you're applying it to the storyline. This is great. I have to see how great Triple H looks, man. Listen, they don't test for part-timers, so I'm going to be very interested to see what Triple H can do after that torn pec, because that looked bad at Crown Jewel. It's going to be interesting what type of match these guys can put on, and I hope it's a good one. But the build to this match is going to be the things that we're going to be most intrigued by going into WrestleMania. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this, because I don't want to dip into my cookie jar all that much, because I don't really have much this weekend, unless things break over the course of Saturday and Sunday. Batista actually took a shot at The Rock and John Cena and their movie roles. Now, he sat and spoke with the Tampa Bay Times. Batista explained the differences between himself and other wrestlers who turned into movie stars. He said that he hates being compared to The Rock and John Cena, and he has a very good reason for this. He says, and I quote, "Don't compare me to The Rock or John Cena. Everyone does it. Rock was, in a way, a movie star before he was even a movie star. There is something about him that's really special. I'd never take that away from him. Would I consider him a great actor? Fuck no." Those are his exact words. He goes on to say, "I want good roles. I don't care about The Fast and the Furious or Bumblebee." John Cena starred in Bumblebee. That's not the type of stardom I want. I want to be in Dune. I want to work with Sam Mendes and Jodie Foster. I want to work with Academy Award winners. I'm a proud actor. I'm proud to be a character actor. I want that respect and credibility and education, he says. End quote. Batista wants credibility over commercial gain. After all, he already made a very good chunk of cash in his WWE career and will likely be getting royalty checks for the rest of his life for Guardians of the Galaxy that he started. Even if he does play Drax the Destroyer, Batista will be just fine, or any roles like that. Just don't compare him to The Rock or John Cena ever again. I like Batista's mentality, man. You know, John Cena wants to do, or The Rock wants to do these movies just for the sake of doing movies and a paycheck. Batista wants to work with the best, and he wants to be in the best. That's a characteristic that you don't really find in a lot of people, and I respect that about Big Dave Batista, man. I'm getting the hell out of here because I've had a stomach bug all day. My stomach does not agree with me. I got to go get food or some type of food because I haven't eaten anything all day, and I got to hydrate myself. Because, again, it was just a bad Thursday afternoon, man. You guys are seeing this on Friday. As always, you Patreons are going to be getting this early on Thursday night. So thank you guys so very much, man. If you missed anything that I uploaded, man, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Resident Evil, Off the Script Extra as well, I did on Thursday, highlighting Brandy Rhodes, possibly in talk with a former WWE diva, AEW signing Bea Priestley. Make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out, plus news on Cody Rhodes and what he wants as far as AEW television goes. I talk about the Arn Anderson firing in WWE, Joey Janela being called a sexist, all that in that AEW video, man. Go and check all that stuff out if you have not done so already. Please make sure you follow me on social media, man, Twitter and Instagram. JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow me on Twitch, JD from New York. If you guys want to support the podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Harrys.com/script for your free trial. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys want your new t-shirt, man, bonfire.com, the official home, the exclusive home of JD's Elite. Link will be down in the description of this very video. Make sure you guys go and get yours today. You guys will get it before WrestleMania, man, so make sure you guys support JD's Elite on bonfire.com. All of you guys who order t-shirts are going to be getting shout-outs tomorrow on the podcast. I did not forget about you. And please make sure to hit that thumbs up on the way out, man. Thank you so very much. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, like I said, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you on Saturday morning. By the way, Saturday, I will be attending the WWE event at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. If you guys are going to be there, I'd love to meet you. So let's figure something out. I'll be having my cold beverages. I'll be having a good time. So if you guys are going to be in AC, you guys are going to be at the Hard Rock watching WWE Live, I will be there. Make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section or on Twitter. Just tweet me at JD from NY206, man. Thank you so much. Remember, hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you guys on Saturday for part 2 of Off the Script.